Hello hunters, welcome back to the channel. We have exciting news today. Patch 1.021 just dropped, and with it comes the new 9-star difficulty, but more importantly, the new Talisman system. I want to discuss what I know about the update, show some examples of the talismans I've earned, and talk about the RNG talismans and what potential they contain. Credit where credit is due. In this video I will show a spreadsheet that has data regarding the Talisman system that has been data mined. This is not my data, but rather thanks to the efforts of DTL Nor, who data mined the info, and Aki, who organized it. A Google Doc spreadsheet is available with the information I will discuss today. I will link the Google Doc in the description below and also be showing my spreadsheet, which is just me taking the data they provided and altering the layout slightly for my own ease of use. While my spreadsheet in this video may look different from theirs, it is all the same information, just shifted or aesthetically changed for my own personal use. All credit for the raw data belongs to DTL Nor, Aki, and anyone else part of the Discord server who aided in bringing us this information. So to begin, we now have 9-star difficulty monsters, which can only be fought if you are HR 100 or higher. The monsters that can appear as 9-star at this time are the 4 Apexes, Raydao, Uthduna, New Udra, and Jindahat, as well as Gormagala and Arkveld. We also have 9-star versions of the monsters introduced in the title updates, Mizutsune, Seregios, and Lagiacrus, for a total of 9 9-star monster options. It has been stated that any other monsters introduced going forward in future title updates will also have 9-star versions, so this menagerie of monsters will grow as time goes on. So why do we want to fight these monsters? They are the only ones that drop the new item, Glowing Stones. Much like Ardean weapon pieces, once you finish a quest where these are rewarded, they will change into randomized talismans of 4 different rarity levels. Rarity 5 Unknown Charms, Rarity 6 Historical Charms, Rarity 7 Secret Charms, and Rarity 8 Golden Age Charms. These charms have randomized skills, including both armor and weapon skills, as well as decoration slots that are earmarked for either armor or weapon decorations. If this system does not interest you, then there really isn't a reason to engage with the 9-star monsters, besides the challenge they offer. These tempered variants will not give Hunter Symbol 3s, they don't have higher odds to give gems, there really isn't anything besides the talisman potential. But if the thought of a new endgame grind and more min-maxing potential do pique your curiosity, here's what you do. Starting at HR 100, these monsters will spawn on the map, and when selected you can save them as investigations, like any other monster. Looking at the missions in your investigation tab, we can see that the monsters will still vary in strength star level, however this appears to have an adverse effect on the number of glowing stones received. The time limits between the quests will also vary and may affect the number of rewards should the time limit be steep enough. However, like before, specifically with Gormagala, as his challenge is harder, he will have the chance to spawn with 2 glowing stones per bonus box. He is not the only one though, as looking here to my Lagiacrus mission, he can also have 2 per box. 2 monsters can still be in each mission, and the second monster can even be a non-apex and still help boost the number of rewards, albeit seemingly slightly. What this all boils down to is, since these monsters are more difficult versions of the monsters we have already fought, whatever monsters you are most comfortable with will be easier for you to farm talismans from, with some more difficult fights like Laggy or Gore offering additional incentives due to the nature of their fights. While I don't have hard numbers yet, being that these monsters are seemingly just tuned up versions, it feels as though they do more damage, their attacks combo faster, and with less openings, and their health is slightly higher. Along with this, I believe some of their hit zones have changed, making some body parts tougher than previously, but don't quote me on that. These missions' difficulty, and for speed of reward earning, I would advise players to capture the monsters, as it reduces fight time, leading to less chance for carding, and getting you on to the next mission more quickly. In summary, 9-star monsters are tough, but fighting them will earn you randomized talismans. These talismans can have both armor and weapon skills, as well as armor and weapon decoration slots. If you want to maximize your talismans per hour, fight monsters you are comfortable with, make sure to capture to cut down on hunt time, and be sure to save the monster as an investigation to get 3 investigation attempts. Plus, be sure to do the monster as a field survey after saving the mission, so that you get 4 runs on the same monster. On to the talismans themselves. Here is the spreadsheet I spoke about earlier. Again, shout out to DTL Nor and Aki for compiling it. We have essentially 3 different tiers of talismans, Rarity 5, Rarity 6, and jointly Rarity 7 and 8. The next 3 colored columns indicate how many skills the talismans can have by default, and from what skill group they pull. For example, a Rarity 6 talisman could have 2 skills from Tier 1 and 1 from Tier 7. Or a Rarity 6 could have a skill from Tier 2 and 2 skills from Tier 8. These are all the possible combinations of base skills the talismans will have. Next to that are the decoration combos. So Rarity 5 talismans can either have 2 1 slots, 1 2 slot, a 2 and a 1 slot, or a 3 slot, all armor decorations. Rarity 6 and 7 follow a similar pattern, but Rarity 8 are the important ones, as these are guaranteed to have a weapon slot. However, as shown here, the weapon slot will only ever be at most a single 1 slot. Thanks to the data miners, we can also see the odds for getting the various combos of weapon decoration slot and additional slots. With the hardest roll, the 1 weapon, 1 slot, and 2 single armor slot talisman, rolling on only 17% of Rarity 8 talismans. Next to this, we can also see that as all the talismans come from the same item, the glowing stones, the odds of getting each rarity becomes lower the more rare the tier, with the Rarity 8 talismans only appearing in 3% of your rolls. This next chunk is what skills fall into what tier. The tiers are separated into 2 categories, tiers 1 through 4 and tiers 5 through 10. 1 to 4 are weapon skills, and 5 to 10 are armor skills. All skills available on existing armor or armor decorations are available with the exception of the group and set bonus skills and 1-level armor skills like Jump Master or Cliffhanger. Palico Rally is also oddly left out. Weapon skills follow the same patterns, but this time all skills are available except the specialty skills, like Zoshia's White Flame Torrent, Mizu's Slicked Blade, Steve's Blade Scale Honing, and Laggy's Convert Thunder Resistance. Each tier has a variety of skills that can roll, however the level of each skill is locked. Let's look at this Rarity 5 talisman for example. It rolled Power Prolonger as its first skill. If we look at the tier charts, we can see Power Prolonger is listed as a Tier 1 skill, and it's locked at level 1. The next skill, Iron Skin, can be found in Tier 5, 6, or 7, but as this talisman rolled with 2 levels of Iron Skin, it means this talisman rolled the Tier 6 version. Checking the rarity chart, we can see that the only option we have for a talisman that rolled a Tier 1 and Tier 6 is another Tier 6 skill. Quick Sheath 2 falls into Tier 6 and completes the base skills on the talisman. As we know, with it being Rarity 5, our options for decoration slots are either 1-1 null, a single 2 slot, a 2-1 null, or a 3 slot. This talisman fits the mold as it only has double 1 slots. Looking at Tier 10, we see skills like a single level in Burst or Wex. Looking at the skill groups possible on talismans, we can only ever have 1 skill from Tier 10 on a charm, so getting Wex and Burst on a single charm is impossible. The skill groups available on different talismans will always have 1 weapon skill, as the first skill will always pull from Tiers 1 through 4. The second skill is more likely to be an armor skill, as 15 out of a potential 21 options are armor skill tiers, 5 through 10. The talismans will also always roll with 2 base skills. If you were lucky enough to get a talisman with 3 skills, the third skill will almost always be an armor skill, as only one of the 14 combinations can roll with a weapon skill, and that's the rarest of the Rarity 7 and 8 charms. In theory, you could roll a Rarity 8 talisman that has level 1 crit boost, level 1 critical eye, and level 1 critical element with 3 1 slots, 1 being a weapon slot, where you could slot in, say, a second crit boost plus 2 single slot armor decos like Antivirus, for example. Or, for something less rare, perhaps a Rarity 7 with Handicraft 3, Divine Blessing 3, and a 2 slot for Counter-Strike? The possibilities, while not endless, are vast. Take your time when reviewing this chart, as it can be a little confusing until you fully digest it. A final note and personal opinion, based on how heavy this system leans towards armor skills, while there are meta-altering skill combinations I'm sure, it feels more like the devs want to allow for more comfort built into armor sets, especially as we have harder monsters to fight. Don't burn yourself out trying to grind out the absolute perfect talisman. Instead, look at what you get and try to update your armor set a little at a time. Remember, unlike Rise, we have craftable talismans that, while not as customizable, are guaranteed. Again, a big thank you to DTL Nor for this information and Aki for compiling it into an easy-to-read, or in my case easy-to-modify, format. If you have any questions about the talismans or 9-star monsters, feel free to leave me a comment. If you liked this information or this video, please leave a like, and please consider supporting the channel through subscribing or becoming a supporter on Patreon. Until next time, and perhaps more so now than ever before, may your RNG be kind and the desire sensor be blind. Goodbye for now, but not for long.